Horror Madness with Deb and Dana. This episode is going to be just a little bit different because we have a very special treat. Dana's shameless begging worked, and we got a screener for Mutilator 2 from Buddy Cooper. And so we're going to talk a little bit about it and try not to give spoilers since it is not released yet. So the movie part is going to be just a little bit short. And then we're also just going to talk about our conventions this year and the people we are excited to see and the artists we are excited to see and give them a little shout out. So it's going to be just a little bit different of an episode.
Mutilator 2, I begged Buddy Cooper shamelessly. I got to watch Mutilator 2, and people don't get to watch that or see that, and we've seen it.
And it was amazing.
We done seen it. Mutilator 1, I think, is one of the most classic horror slasher films.
Yes.
Ever in the history of mankind. It is what it is, and as I said in our Mutilator review, I don't think anyone's ever watched it and finished it and was like, I hate that movie.
No,
it's love Mutilator. It's kind of awful and it's completely amazing, and everyone that's ever seen it, which isn't that many people, loves it. And then Mutilator 2 happened.
We talked in our Mutilator podcast about how we figured out it was a horror comedy, and I think Mutilator 2 solidified that in my mind.
So, I didn't necessarily think that Mutilator was a horror comedy. I kind of thought it was just a really great movie that I loved a whole lot, with the most banging song that's ever existed in the history of mankind. And by the end of us podcasting, I thought really hard, and I was like, I don't know. Okay, maybe it is just a comedy and far less of a horror movie than I thought it was. And now I've seen Mutilator 2, and yeah. Also, I am mind blown by the fact that this movie isn't available. It came out over like a year and a few months ago. Like officially, it was finished and completed, and Joe Bob did a thing on it. I talked about it a little bit in the Mutilator episode that I had not talked to, but just Facebook messaged Buddy Cooper and stuff, and his response, I was just like, oh yeah, well, that's the end of that. And then after we did the Mutilator podcast, I seriously don't believe he listened to it. No one's listened to it. And then he was just like, oh, dude, yeah, thanks. Here's the link to the Mutilator 2 and the password to watch it. And I was like, oh my God. It happened. It really happened. This is going down.
And it was so worth it. I loved this movie. What to say?
Yeah.
It is amazing, and I can't wait for it to be widely available. I mean, Buddy Cooper is a freaking genius.
Yeah.
And hilarious. And
I guess maybe the Mutilator and the Mutilator 2 are like the greatest comedies ever made, with a lot of amazing gore in both of them.
The gore was beautiful in this.
And we can't talk about it because we hope everyone gets to see it. We've watched so many movies. We've watched so many good movies. Yes. We've watched so many bad movies. We watch all the movies. All of the movies. I have never watched something in my life and just been like, oh no. So instant classics, instant iconic films have always happened. I have never been privileged enough to be like, oh, No.
One of the first to see it.
This is an instant classic that everyone that's ever even mildly liked a horror movie is going to be like, this might not be the best movie ever made, but it might be my favorite movie ever made. The movie Mutilator 2 is about people filming Mutilator 1. There's a trailer.
That is out there. Mutilator 2 is about people doing a remake of The Mutilator. And that is out there, so that's not that much of a spoiler.
Right.
Because that's out there on the internet. And I knew that going in because I had looked it up. Dana did not know that going in.
I have been like, I just want to see the movie. I don't want to be spoiled by the trailer. I'd never even watched the trailer that does exist that you can go watch. Also, I still haven't watched that trailer, but I've watched Mutilator 2. Oh my God, mind blown. Wow.
A lot of the original cast is in it.
Most
sexy,
is he at least in
there's cameos.
Yeah, there's several cameos, and there's a cameo or two that's like a 1 second thing.
Yeah.
Because I think that you can look up the cast list.
Yeah.
Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's to
The Body.
I don't know why I said 2. Weekend at Bernie's.
Because we're talking about Mutilator.
Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's is playing
Jack Chatham.
Big Ed, which Jack Chatham is actually in the movie for like a split second. They just zoom in on him for a very split. He's 97 years old.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, like you can't expect that guy to. He's 90. What? Wow. Cool. Awesome. It's amazing that he's in the movie for a second. But if anyone. The dude from Weekend at Bernie's, Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's. What's his name? Do you have it?
Hold on 1 second. I thought you had looked it up. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So did you. We both looked it up like 19 times.
We couldn't even wait to do this. We just watched it last night and, could not wait.
Yeah, also, he's just Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's. I don't know if he ever did anything else. But they even nod to that. Oh, man.
Terry Kaiser.
Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's.
Yes.
Wow. He plays Jack Chatham, who
plays Big Ed
in the first one. It's very convoluted.
But he does a great job.
He does an amazing job as... definitely not the killer.
I do love that this takes place at kind of like a horror convention, that the little background appearances by Ghostface and Art the Clown, they act like every Art the Clown and Ghostface cosplayer at every convention I've been to, which is a lot. And it made my heart so happy.
Yeah, no.
You could tell Buddy Cooper's been to a lot of conventions.
So it's just wild. So the original house, which we had looked up in a YouTube video of some dude going and finding the original stuff, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, they repainted it and stuff." So it's so crazy. That house is there, they show it and stuff, but it's not the house that they're filming the remake in.
Yeah.
Which is just it's weird and wild, and that's why everyone loves Mutilator.
Well,
that's why the Mutilator's so good. It's weird and wild.
They're filming it in Atlantic Beach, but on a soundstage, it seemed like. Or on they're
filming it in a 2-car garage.
Yeah,
house
yeah.
It isn't the original house, but the original house is in the movie.
Yes, very briefly.
yeah, just for at the beginning, which is just goodness gracious. Buddy Cooper, the only thing he can't do, or can he? Is he the master of pre-foreshadowing?
Buddy Cooper I
That
love
was-
you.
that was the
I love you,
problem.
Buddy Cooper.
That was the
You
biggest problem with the first movie.
Was the foreshadowing, and maybe it was on purpose in the second one because
Well, maybe it was just a comedy. Always been a comedy. It's just a comedy.
Which is what I said at
So-
the end of our last podcast was Mutilator is a comedy, and that is solidified in my mind with Mutilator 2.
I think it should be called Coopering, not foreshadowing.
Coopering, yes.
Where you're just like, I just foreshadowed this and it happens now. It
Yeah,
doesn't happen
it's-
later. It's right now.
Right now.
Here's foreshadowing. Now it's happening. I am so excited for everyone to be able to see Mutilator 2. So, the bad things I can say.
Okay.
A little bit of bad things. The acting level weirdly ramps up as the movie goes along.
Yes.
The acting just keeps getting better and better. I feel like if I wasn't such a big Mutilator fan, I would have watched this and like the first 5 minutes, I might have been like, I don't know if this is for me. But like 30 minutes in, then you're just like, oh wait, no, this is ridiculous and great, and I love this movie. Also, the guy who kind of makes it bad in the first 5 minutes is the first kill, which isn't a spoiler because
no, you don't know who it is.
You don't know who that is. And when you
Yeah.
watch it, just be happy that that guy dies real quick. Also, probably the point. The biggest thing that I will just spoil, which isn't that much of a spoil because it's just like a Easter egg. They dress a skeleton in the background, exactly like Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's, and I was like, "Oh fuck yeah, that is great."
One thing Buddy Cooper always does great is
Oh my
little
God.
homages.
Man, Buddy Cooper's his little like 15 seconds in this movie.
Oh yes, Buddy
is
Cooper
one of the funniest
is
things.
in the movie.
Oh my God, I didn't think he would be, and then he was, and I was just like, oh my God. And I don't want to.
You can't.
Yeah, I can't really spoil what he says, but like, oh my God, there's just no way you cannot love what he says. So that's a thing. I think that's a thing that was in the first movie that I didn't recognize. I think a lot of Mutilator 1 is like, it's old.
Yeah, it is.
Even with the
1988,
restorations
I think.
and stuff,
Yeah.
it's old. It's an old movie, so like things get a little lost and stuff. So if you personally, whoever's listening to this, and you were just like, I'm gonna make a slasher movie, and I'm gonna kill a bunch of people in a billion different fishing ways. How many ways can you think of to kill somebody with fishing equipment?
There is more than you realize.
Yeah, I think maybe all the kills in the first movie were kind of with fishing equipment, but like that's what I'm saying. It gets kind of a little bit lost in translation because it's such an older movie.
Yeah.
This movie is just like everyone dies in a fishing way.
Oh.
Deep sea fishing way, not a pond behind your house. There's a deep sea fishing way that everyone dies, and that's just like
every single one of them is beautiful and gory and hilarious at the same time. I have so many notes I want to talk about.
I wrote so many notes.
I'm gonna just
like,
throw this away,
right?
Because I can't do it.
Right, there's just
I can't do it. It is an amazing movie, and I can't wait for it to be widely available so we can do Mutilator 2 again and actually talk about it.
There's so many people there's so many movies I've seen in my life that were like big budget, big releases, and as soon as it came out, I saw some critic be like, oh, it's an instant classic. And I'm just like, no, that movie sucks and I didn't like it. It's not an instant classic. And guess what? All those movies I've never heard about again since they came out. An instant classic is Mutilator 2. Mutilator 1, like, was? It's also that. It's also that. The weird dark humor and my misunderstanding that Deb threw in my face and was like, no, I don't think anything's actually, it's just like a comedy movie with gore. Man, it is, man and woman and everyone, it is so insane how much it just doesn't make.
Buddy Cooper is a genius, and he is fucking hilarious.
I think
has to be one of the funniest fucking people alive.
My biggest downside to the entire movie was, and I said before, I think the song Fall Break is the most banger of a song that's ever been in a horror movie.
I wish it was
ever.
in it more.
It's not just it's not just a soundtrack song and stuff. It's just a song in a movie. You don't get a better banger than the song Fall Break. Just period. I don't care. Fight me.
But yeah, it was amazing, and I want to talk so much more about it, but I can't. And after we watched it, I was like, I don't know how much we're allowed to talk about, and I don't want to spoil this because it's a great movie.
The weirdest blowjob scene in the history of mankind.
Oh my gosh!
Weirdest blowjob scene that could be done.
The best one ever.
They've got the hat. They've got the record in the movie. They have
Mutilator 2 t-shirts.
They have a Fall Break shirt. That
I
think, honest to God,
I think he had it at his table.
I think when we got the hat and the record and everything, I'm pretty sure it was there. Pretty sure, but like we had watched it once.
Yeah, I would.
And I wasn't
love a Fall Break shirt.
I would kill for that Fall Break shirt because the people that were wearing it, there's two chicks that were wearing it, and it was clearly brand new. It was not an old shirt. It was a brand new Fall Break shirt. It had never been worn before they put it on. I know, I keep thinking that too, but like I don't want to just keep bothering Buddy Cooper.
I mean,
but like also I desperately need
one
of
want
those
the Fall Break shirts so bad.
It was so beautiful.
Mutilator 2 was amazing, and I can't wait to redo this.
They threw up some drones in the sky and did some beautiful air shots. There are several transition choices
I just thought there was the one
that as a comedy are hilarious and amazing. And it's just what it is, I think. I think Mutilator 1 and 2 are...
Called it.
I think they're out-of-the-pocket comedies with insane gore. I think both of them are. And I watched Mutilator 1 100 times and never saw that. And Deb pointed it out. I thought it was just kind of bad.
I can't get over the gore. Both movies are so well done that it couldn't be that bad without being on purpose. Like,
well, so that was my thought. It was the 80s and stuff, and I thought it just was that bad. But I still loved it. But now, with the tone of 2. The tone of 2 is the exact same tone of like, you watch something ridiculous and you're like, that was the stupidest thing I've ever seen, and then you're like, oh wait, that was on purpose, or wasn't it? So like, if you watch it and you're like, that was on purpose, it's not the funniest comedy thing you've ever seen, but you also can't, it's impossible to not chuckle a little bit.
I laughed a lot
and just be like, that's a ridiculous pun for no reason that doesn't even belong here.
Can I tell the joke? Do you think I can tell the joke?
No one told us not to tell anything. I don't. We could go over this whole thing.
I don't want to ruin
moment,
it.
I guess.
Hey, Dana, you ever wonder why they call them Pop-Tarts and not Mom-Tarts?
Man,
have you?
I hadn't. I hadn't ever considered it whatsoever for this little one-liner of ridiculousness.
Because of the patriarchy.
Someone told someone that in the worst moment of their life, and they were just like, we're putting that in the movie.
I literally laughed out loud. Oh, there are some great one-liners in this movie. There's great background puns that are on signs. And
There is fake outs
Oh,
that are like so bad they can't be fake outs. And then like, they're just not.
it is amazing. And goodness, I can't wait to do this again after it is widely available.
Being able to actually talk about it, I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, I'm so glad we had the privilege to see it. Thank you, Buddy Cooper.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ever listen to this, which I don't think you will, but maybe you will.
You won't make it this far if you do.
You. So I think we should talk a little bit about what we have coming up this year. We have our first convention as Horror Madness, actually, will be Mad Monster Party in Carolina, in Concord. It was our entry.
Which is just Charlotte.
Which is Charlotte.
No one knows what Concord is.
Yes.
It's Charlotte.
In North Carolina. And Mad Monster was our entry into horror conventions. It was our first one, and it holds a special place in our heart. We have a ton of friends, and we always look forward to it so much. Probably the one we look forward to most just because of all our friends that we've made there. Some of the guests this year are Robert Englund, who we saw 2 years ago. Darcy the Mail Girl will be there. Brad
Can't wait
Dourif,
to see Darcy.
Ken Kurtzinger.
Did you say Brad?
I said Brad Dourif.
You just like brushed over that like he's nothing.
No, I was listing names and I said Brad Dourif. I just listed. That's just a couple of them. I'm super excited. It's a little bit of a smaller celebrity guest list this year, but I think Days of the Dead in Atlanta happens the same weekend, and
yeah, it's a bit weird this year.
I'm still super
There's
looking
some big
forward
names.
to
There's
it.
a couple big names we're not going to talk about. But
we're excited to see our friends who are artists. I want to give a shout out to the Deadly Collective. Great artwork. I will post some pictures of her art on our Instagram and Facebook. If you can, check out their stuff. I love it. She's also adorable. Some of my favorite people. Some people aren't going to be there. Oh, Wes Flannery will be there.
Hopefully.
He said he would be. He
That's
does
her.
some great realistic horror, like fine art stuff. I'll also post some of his. Great artist and a really cool dude.
Art of Barcode will not be there apparently, but we love him and we wish
love
he would
him,
be.
and I was looking forward to seeing him this year. In May, the 23rd through the 25th, we have Carolina Fear Fest, and Kane Hodder is gonna be there. Bill Moseley. Those are the only two real announcements on that one. It's still kind of far out, and
A couple biggies though.
I mean, I'm excited for Bill Moseley. We were supposed to see Bill Moseley at Carolina Fear Fest last year,
Got ran
but
over.
he got hit by a bicyclist, and everybody knows that. Anybody who's a Bill Moseley fan has seen him post about it on Instagram. I was devastated.
I can't imagine running over a pretty much elderly old man on your bicycle while he's jogging on his feet, and then just being like, oh, that's Otis Driftwood. Fuck me, I gotta get the hell out of here.
Yeah, no, they booked it the fuck out of there.
He's gonna murder me.
I'm so glad he's recovered well and doing conventions again and is willing to come back. Their announcement for him.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Oh, that Carolina Fear Fest announcement for Bill Moseley.
They just posted like a meme of a dude wrapped in bubble wrap. And I was like, oh, Bill Moseley's coming back.
It was epic, and I'm so excited.
I think it was a bicycle.
Yes.
And a guy, not Bill Moseley, but just like a picture of a random person wrapped in bubble wrap. Yeah.
Oh, I think he has said he will avoid nature walks this time when he's in Raleigh.
So.
When we heard that at the convention, I was like, that's not true. You are lying.
I mean, Bill, if you're out there, I will follow you on your nature walk and bodyguard you. And like jump in front of bicycles that are aiming at you.
I
stuff.
am so glad
I got
he
you,
is all healed up and ready to go. And I'm looking forward to Fear Fest. And I can't wait to see who else they're going to announce. Probably will be at Smoky Mountain Terror, which is the weekend after Carolina Fear Fest. We're still working out some schedule stuff, but there is a Lost Boys reunion going on there with Corey Feldman and Alex Winter. There's a Twilight reunion going on with Ashley Green, Peter Facinelli, Kellen Lutz, Christian Serrato.
Middle of nowhere place. It is unbelievable, the lineup there.
Eli Roth, Ty West, Edward Furlong, Tara Reid.
It's wild. Hopefully she won't try to ride a service dog.
Hopefully.
Oh, that's a thing. Anybody wants to know about the...
Hit us up if you
trying
want
to ride a service dog and getting kicked out of a convention. We know that story.
Yes.
From like 80 different angles, weirdly.
Like, she's tiny. She's a little tiny human, and we have some great Tara Reid stories. But, yeah, so those are... Oh, and then, of course, we have Dragon Con. I mean,
That's forever.
That's forever and always.
We're also in a couple weeks going to Podfest.
Oh yes,
in Orlando.
So we're also going to Podfest, a podcasting convention. That's our first one of that type. It's
going
kind of a trade show.
For the business and work of it all. So maybe we'll suck less when we come back.
Yes,
from Podfest.
hopefully. Learn a few things. And so we've got kind of a packed full schedule. We're hoping to add some more into this. This is just like our outlook right now. I'd love to throw a few more in there if we can work it out. We will be doing lives from the conventions and hopefully meeting and talking to some people. And yeah, we're really excited for what this year holds. And excited to bring you guys more stuff and talk more about horror movies and maybe get some more screeners.
I will never get another thing as big as Mutilator 2. And we only got Mutilator 2 because it's not big yet.
Oh, it will be.
As soon as it comes out, as soon as people can see it, it is going to be the most cult movie.
Yes, it is. It's very meta and very self-aware.
It's metaverse. It's got meta going hard.
It is. It goes hard on the meta.
It's a movie about
the making of a remake of a movie.
Of a movie that doesn't actually have a remake, which is hilarious and great just to begin with.
Yeah.
You just couldn't ask for more. And you couldn't ask for more in the strangest way of like, I didn't want this and I didn't ask for this.
But I needed it.
This is exactly what I actually wanted.
Yes.
Every joke and everything
is
exactly.
Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
To
Buddy Cooper.
Oh my God.
I feel so privileged to have seen it, and I hope to see Buddy Cooper at a convention again and talk to him about it.
Oh my God, me too.
I want to thank him in person. Thank you guys. We love you.
Love you, motherfuckers. Good night.
Good night.